This game is created by the original developers of Prison Architect, Introversion Software, and after 4+ years of development, including 3 in early access, it's leaving its alpha early access era and has finally released to 1.0. Obviously, I've got to check this one out, and I thank you for joining me, assuming this tickles your fancy. Link to the game, of course, is in the description. Welcome to the Last Starship. My name is Charlie, and I'll be your guide through the galaxy far, far away, where we explore the Boldly Go story mode. However, there is also a survival mode that is much different. It's a much different experience, and I'd like to show you this one too if you're interested. Once weekly live streams beginning next week. If that's something that's interesting to you, please leave that down in the comments, as well as check out our Discord to see the schedules that might happen from that. Very different mode here. If you're a fan of FTL and stuff, you'll probably like this too. We're gonna go boldly go this way here. And also, I invite you to check out the pinned comment down below. Thank you very much. It is the 23rd century. Humanity has colonized the stars. Millions now thrive on distant worlds, living hundreds of light years from Earth. As space becomes the new frontier, an era of unprecedented exploration and expansion unfolds. Powerful corporations dominate entire regions, but beyond their reach lies uncharted territory, filled with untold mysteries and boundless opportunities. The CEO of the Interstellar Mining Corporation has issued a daring challenge. Build a Stargate powerful enough to reach our nearest galaxy. With trillions in funding up for grabs, the stage is set for fearless adventurers to forge their own path in the cosmos. Will you rise to the challenge and chart your own course? Your own course through the stars? I can't speak. All right then, so let's get going. As the ship flies in here, I'd like to also remind all of you, or perhaps introduce you if you're new here, to the fact that I do like to be just a little bit more explainer heavy in the first video of a new series on this channel, just so everyone has at least the minimum understanding of what's going on and what they're seeing at the start. It won't take long, Starship veterans, I promise, but it's an important step for those just seeing things for the first time to get situated in the first video. Future videos will be less tutorial light, I promise. Welcome to the new our new ship here. We have been commissioned as our ship captain, and we've been given this, such as it is. This is the Procyon Cruiser. We go ahead and pause it really quick, and we're gonna skip this tutorial for now. So we're sitting here at a shipyard, okay? And there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of systems in this game that we can talk about real quickly. So at the top of the screen, I'm just going to click this really quick so you can kind of understand where we're at as far as our goals go. We have ratings, and we have now rank 0 and 0 experience in combat, industry, humanitarian, logistics, and trade. These are all things we're going to be working towards. We have the name of our ship right here, as well as our hull, toughness, and our durability, how much damage we've taken, and atmosphere, whether we're breathable here or not. Okay, so this is the ship we start with. It has engines, but no power systems. We've been given 300 grand to make this great, make this ship great. So we can come down here to our bottom menu, and I'll go through all of these things as we get to them. The install screen here is going to show us everything that we have that is installable on our ship, including items that are pending delivery sometimes too. So first thing we need is a reactor. It burns high energy fuel to produce power. This is our reactor. We can flip it around, and I'm going to put this, let's put this reactor, I don't want to put it right next. Let's give a little bit of space, I think. Maybe we'll put it like right here. Maybe up top. It doesn't really matter, does it? Let's put it down. So we're going to put it right there. And then we're going to have also a medium tank. This is going to be where I'm going to hold my fuel reserves, actually. And I'm going to place this tank maybe out like this for now. Then we're going to get a fuel loader. This is going to allow us to take canisters of fuel and actually get it into the system. So we're going to place that here. Okay, next step is I want to make this place breathable. So to do that, I need an oxygen loader and an air duct. This is going to pump oxygen into the surrounding cabin. Very important to get that set up very soon. We're just going to flip this around. Let's have it be, we'll go here with it, I guess is fine. And then we're going to have, of course, the oxygen loader, which will be located here. There's a small tank being given, but I don't mind having this hooked up directly. This might trigger some of you who are veterans of this game. I'm sorry, but I don't care about having a reserve tank or a cushion there. between the oxygen loader and our air duct, because oxygen goes down gradually over time and up gradually over time. Once the ship is pressurized with oxygen, if the canister runs out, we're just going to replace it, and the air is going to stay in the ship for a while, so it's not a big deal. For fuel, however, it's very important that we have a constant supply of fuel available. So we're going to use pipes and cables. They are free, and you can place them however you'd like. So first, I'm going to take the oxygen and place it there. That's going to hook up the loader to the air duct, and then I'm going to place, for the cables, for power, I want to have this kind of, proliferated all throughout the ship. So I'm just going to have this go up, I guess, a little bit, and then there. And then this can go up this way and then over. And then this can come down this way and then over. It doesn't matter that we went a little extra. You'll see. We'll hook it up eventually to something. Next, I need to go to my pipes. And we're going to have this set up to where pipes are all hooked up to the engines like so. And the fuel is going to be going up to the tank. And then from the tank over to there. Okay, so what's going to end up happening here is that the fuel is going to get sucked out of this and go into this tank. You can see fuel is going up. And then it is then going to, this tank is then going to feed our engines and the reactor, and that's going to provide power to the ship. With everything powered, we're going to start seeing oxygen go up. Our atmosphere is going to start going up. That's nice. Now, everything else that we're going to install, aside from maybe the small tank, which I actually think I'm going to put the small tank. I could put it up here for like oxygen. Sure, I could, but I just don't think it's necessary. I'm going to have maybe like some life support sort of stuff in the back here too, maybe. So why don't I place you like right here? This will like be an oxygen reserve tank. I'm okay with that. I think we're going to place it right there. All right. And then we can feed. We'll eventually have this all hooked up anyway, but it's going to be hooked up to additional oxygen production services or setups later. Okay, everything from this point on, though, we need to provide ourselves. We need to buy it. And one of those things, very important, is an FTL drive, because otherwise we're going to be stuck here, which is fine, I guess. It's a nice vacation place, maybe, but it's not really where we need to go to do anything meaningful or productive. So we're going to go to our trade screen. When you're at a shipyard or a colony, as we are at a shipyard, we can trade. And at the opening station, they have almost everything that you would ever want to buy, almost. And we're going to go in and we're going to get some stuff. So I want to get an FTL drive. That's half my money. Done. And we also need some charges for that as well. So I can come over and get FTL charges. Those are 2,000 a piece. And I'm going to buy 10 of them, I think. So we're up to 170,000 in cost already. I'm going to add a little extra fuel because I know I'm going to need it. I'm going to add, let's say, a little bit of extra water and a little bit of extra food. I know I'm going to need these things too. So I'm just going to get some of the things that I know I'm going to need. Then I want to see some of the things that they have available that we can proceed with. So we have waste treatment machines, water purifiers, oxygen makers, air reprocessor. All of these are part of the plan to make our ship as self-sustaining as possible. Okay. So first thing I think I would want to get going with on this is probably a CO2 scrubber, which I'm not seeing in this first station. That's interesting. They don't have a CO2 scrubber. Yeah, it's not available here. Okay, well, we're not going to have any scrubbing CO2 today. At least not in this opening ship here. We'll replace it with a battery because I think it's nice to have that little bit of redundancy. And then I'm going to grab 2 thrusters. And we're going to need, I think, probably... let's go with a drone bay. That's a big thing, too. And now I need to start pulling some things back. So I think instead of the battery, we'll do the drone bay. And then with our 7,000 extra dollars that we have, I want to get drones. Drones. Where are the drones? Logistics, drones, all the way at the bottom right here. We're going to have to just get 2 is fine. So that is all the money they started me with, basically. So we're going to start by installing the FTL drive. And I can place this kind of anywhere I want, of course. And I can put it... why don't I put it right over here? That's fine. Right next to this is okay for me. And we're also going to have a drone bay. The drone bays, I'm going to sit back over here. And the thrusters, for now, I'm going to install them in the back of the ship. Normally, you'd want these centered, but we're going to buy 2 more anyway. And then we're going to buy probably 4 more, but we're going to have them at the front of the ship once we get them. The important thing about installing this equipment, though, is it's a prerequisite for getting certain jobs. Certain types of jobs require you to have certain equipment on the ship in order to be assigned to those jobs. So I want to make sure I have them. So we're going to go ahead and hook these up to power like that. And we're going to have this hooked up to power like so. And then I can get that hooked up to power too. Seems good. Now, at the moment, everything is kind of stored right here. And we want to change that as well. So we're going to go in. Maybe put this at half speed, I guess. We're going to go in and kind of change where this is. This is in the storage tab here. And what we're going to want to do is I'm going to make this whole area here mission cargo. And then I'm going to put an any cargo load here. So if you have anything miscellaneous, you can throw it here for now. I'm going to get some of the important things in their proper places. So this is where our FTL drive is. So I want you putting all your FTL charges maybe right here for now. And then fuel, we can store that maybe over here for now. So it's closer to where these things are. If there's a preferred like exclusive storage zone for it, they will prioritize placing those things in that area. It's kind of how that works. So oxygen, I can just kind of set that right there. If there's extra oxygen charges, we'll just set it next to this. It's fine. I think that's probably it. Water and food kind of doesn't matter too much at this point. We'll put this maybe water and food. Where'd that go? Right there. Yeah. We'll place the food maybe like half of it or something like that. It's fine. And then boxes, mission cargo, things like that. We want drones. Drones need to be installed, or we can just store the drones near our drone bay. That's probably pretty good. And I think for now, that's kind of the setup. For now, obviously I need a lot more life support stuff, but we'll get there. Okay. Let's take a look at some of the things in the UI that might have questions left over. How many people can we have on our ship? Well, we have a habitation limit. That's not the limit of the number of people we can have on the ship, but there are limitations to the missions we can accept. So we can't accept missions, for example, if we don't have enough cabin space. If we go into our habitation, this is our habitation layer. And we currently have capacity for 59 people, or at least 59 cabins. We can have more people than that on the ship, but we get really stressed out, and people are going to have like no place to sleep. So it's a temporary arrangement in that case. We also won't be allowed to accept contracts for bringing people places if we don't have enough habitation free. So here's the contracts tab. We start out with basically space Uber, but because we have thrusters installed on our ship, we also have the ability to get rescue missions, and these ones are worth quite a bit if we can get them done. I like that. So we're going to try and get that done. So this is an urgent passenger transport. It's they want to go to NG-11. These guys here also want to go to NG-11. Well, howdy do. There's 11 people in this group and 20 people in this group. So that's 31 people coming aboard our ship in addition to the 5 we already have. So we're already at 36. Here, there's another 24 on board. So this is going to put us over, but it doesn't matter because as long as we pick these guys up and rescue them, they can wander around the deck for a little while we take them to their destination. What I like to do, and I think what most people probably like to do, is to stack contracts so that you can do multiple things in once, right? So both of these guys are going to the same place, NG-11. We're going to go ahead and accept that one. If we have a contract that's available that's going to the same place we're already going, we'll get this little icon right here. And that's how we can kind of tell that that's a thing too. So we can take this. These guys here want to go to NG-12. I'm not going to take them on board because they're obviously like, it's too many people at this point for sure. And then we have this rescue mission. That's a big deal too. And we're going to go ahead and get that. Now this one, the ship's engines will explode very soon. So because it's a kind of a rush, we need to get there quickly. And we're going to go there first. This is a 25% pay. So when you accept a mission, I am in half speed right now, just so I have time to explain things like that. This is the only video where I'm going to spend a lot of time explaining things, but we'll have more later. All the people are coming aboard, and they are going to make their way down this ladder, which brings them to our habitation area. We don't get to modify this. We can grow it, we can shrink it, but it's not like we have to like build the cabin spaces. Okay, it's just general space on the ship. All right. So the more people we have on board, of course, the more water we're going to go through, more oxygen people are breathing in, more CO2 people are breathing out, and of course, more food they're consuming as well. So I'm going to pause it really quick here, and we're going to go into that contract and accept that rescue contract as well. For the rescue contract, we simply need to rescue them from their ship before it explodes, and then we need to take them to safety. In this case, we're going to take them to NG-11 because we're already going there. Makes sense? So we can stack 3 of these missions on board. So to do this, we're going to want to travel to the stranded ship. We do that with FTL. Here's the map. I like dark mode. You might have light mode to start out. This is like a randomly generated map for you if you start this mode. There's things in different places all the time. The reason why I like dark mode, though, is not just because of the comfort of looking at it in the aesthetics, but also because it makes it much, much easier to see where nebulas are. Nebulas are an important place. So right here, yeah, a little harder to see the nebula. I'm sorry about blinding you there, but this is dark mode. I like this more. So if you're like, how come your map looks like this? Click that toggle. All right, so we are here, and the rescue happens here, and the delivery of passengers is here. The people we have to bring are there. Now, I'm thinking because of the way these are lined up, I probably won't be able to go from 6 directly to 11. I don't think it'll let me do that because 8 is in the way, but we'll see. We're going to go to the rescue. So we're going to prepare a jump. When we do that, our ship will reorient itself. Using our FTL drive, we will make the jump. If you're a fan of the game FTL, you're familiar with how we jump to new sectors and things like that, right? Well, there's a little bit more to it in this game than what FTL provides. FTL's got it's a fantastic game. It's got its own charms to it for sure. There's a little bit more you can do in this game than that game. Let's go ahead and bring it up to real-time speed now instead of half. Okay, we're going to jump here. Interstellar travel happens. Now, when we arrive, I'm going to pause it really quick so I can make sure I know where things are. Couple of things to look at here. Right away, this is a dangerous area. There's a meteor shower here. I don't remember the contract telling me that existed. Nope. So they're not giving me a bonus pay for the dangerous situation. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't know. Sure. All right, so we're going to do docking. I already know how to do that. We'll skip that. So zoom out. We have asteroids here we could mine, but we don't want to stick around here too long because, yeah, meteor shower. And that's really harmful to our little ship. So we want to get in and get out quick. Here's the ship that looks like it's in distress. If I go into hit T, this brings me to a tactical layer. We're going to spend quite a bit of time in this layer because this is how you move your ship with intention. So over here is a stranded ship. I think this is the one that's probably going to explode. And because it doesn't look like any other ship. Well, okay, so there's derelict cargo ship here too. So there's also some stuff that we might be able to get there. This scavenger is functional, so I'm thinking it's this one. So what we want to do is head this way. We're going to control our throttle. And you can always just go, like this too. But I like to control it because we may not have enough power at this point to have it. Sometimes I don't know the ship. Let's see. Oh, man, that thing almost hit us anyway. So as we move, we're going to have a velocity indicator. It kind of gives us an indication of how fast we are. And then also we have an invasion stat here, which is essentially our chance to avoid being hit for something that would hit us. Hello, Commander Harkin. Captain, I am the chief of security for this sector, and I need your help. All across the sector, there are people in trouble who need our assistance. I'm spread too thin. I can't be everywhere. You're more than capable, and I'll be there to offer advice when I can. If you choose to help, I've marked the locations on your map as gold highlights. Thank you. So we have a choice to do that. This is a mode where there's a story to it, and you are working towards an end goal, which is to build the Stargate. And there's a huge amount of stuff that's going on, and there's a lot of different factions and things that are going to get in the way and give us things to do along the way. We're going to build a big Stargate so we can travel to a nearby galaxy, right? So we're going to head over to this ship, and what we're looking for on this ship is these little things right here. This is their docking port, right? This is where the docking port on their ship is, okay? My docking port is here. So in order to dock to this ship, I need to line those two things up. So we're going to head on over here. I'm just going to make a quick little adjustment to my heading here, and then let's go ahead and kill my engines at this point. Now, I'll pause it again, just for the sake of explaining, right? We have thrusters. They're not lined up very well, admittedly, and they're probably going to be a little harder to control. I need 2 more over here. But there's a maneuvering mechanic in this, very similar to Kerbal Space Program, if you've played that game, IJLK, to move things in place of WASD. And then U and O are our rotation tools. All we're going to do is use those controls to move our ship into a position that allows us to dock to this thing. And it is definitely not easy to do this with just the 2 thrusters that I have. But it's possible. It's not impossible. So we're going to just angle ourselves this way, kick our back end around. And the newest version of the game actually has a bit of a helper tool. So if you played this game for a while and haven't revisited it for a bit, we actually have a docking assist built into 1.0. And if you get close enough, then the assist will take over. And, you know, Chris and Mark were talking about how they, for the longest time, they didn't want to put this in the game because they thought maybe docking was like part of the skill of the game. But we have faster than light travel, okay? We have all this advanced stuff. Surely we have a computer system capable of just like aligning the docking ports, right? So they have put that in the game. So if I get close enough, the ship will kind of move itself into a position to reach the docking port out and dock here. Once we connect to the ship, thankfully the meteors are hitting that ship instead of mine, at least for now. We're going to get that crew rescued and bring them on board. And then we're going to take off as quickly as possible. Normally, I would not do this. Normally, I would sit around and wait for it to explode so we could harvest the resources inside it, because there's probably some good stuff in there. But given the presence of a meteor shower, I don't want to do that. I don't think the ship has a whole lot of armor. So we're going to undock. See, I just got hit by a meteor just now. So that's gonna be a problem. So we want to get out of here now. So I'm gonna go to the sector map and I want to go here, and it is gonna let me travel directly there. I wasn't sure if it would because NG8 is in the way, but it's just enough to where it gets around it and doesn't go through it. But you can be blocked by this. If you've ever had a map spawn with icons that are directly in your path, it won't let you go through something. So you can have there. So let's go ahead and prepare the jump. We are not waiting around for it to explode because these meteors hurt and it's expensive to fix them, to fix their damage. Let's go ahead and jump. We'll get derelict ships and other shipwrecks and stuff. We'll get the opportunity to get these things very soon. Just not that time. Plus, we have a lot of people on board our ship right now in excess of our cabin space, hence why they're wandering around the cabin here, while they're wandering around the deck here. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and turn in all 3 contracts now that we've reached the space. And we can go ahead and just... Oh, hang on. Our drones are doing something. That's interesting. Oh, yeah, they're fixing the hull. So we actually have orders, this orders tab right here, to allow our drones to do various different things. And they can do minor repair work, you know? If we have resources on board, which we don't have metal plates and stuff, but if we have resources on board, they can be more effective at that. And if I tell them that not to repair the hull, then they won't go out there. Now that we've delivered everybody, dropped them all off, we're going to get some notifications here about our missions, being successful, our contracts being successful. And they're going to end up paying us money for that now, which is good. There it is. Took a little longer than I expected it to, but there it is. So all the money we were supposed to be paid for this is now going to be all added up. And it's going to add to our humanitarian rating. We moved people around, but we also rescued people. So good humanitarian rank. We want to get that up so that we get more lucrative contracts available to us. Since we are in a new place, we might have access to new things. There's a CO2 scrubber. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Definitely want that. 2 more thrusters will make things a lot easier there. And I think probably I could get going with some of the life support stuff, but it's expensive. I would like to get started on making fuel and FTL materials. Why don't we go ahead and get, let's see, how about we grab gas collector would be nice if I can have tanks for it. If we go to the nebula, we can have our hyperspace scoop to start gathering that stuff. Give me some industry should have had. I thought logistics would have fuel tanks or have storage tanks, and now it's just small tanks. For now, I guess we're going to store it in small tanks. And that's 102 grand. Is there anything else I want? Yeah, more logistics drones would be good. I would also like to get a mining laser. 1 mining laser, and I can't quite afford all of that. So let's bring this down to, let's say, 1 less drone. All right, so all that money is now getting pushed into here. We're going to have extra stuff now. So the mining laser, I'm going to install that right over here. We're going to put thrusters on the edge over here. 1 and 2. That's going to make it a lot easier to maneuver the ship because I now have a more balanced thruster alignment there. The CO2 scrubber, I'm going to bring that all the way over here next to, I think the oxygen storage is probably fine. Yeah, why don't we put that here? Get a small tank to store that CO2 as a buffer here. Then we're going to want the gas collector. We'll get into more of what this does later, but this is basically going to gather resources for us that will allow us to refine it into fuel. And we definitely want that. So I'm just going to set that like right here. And then the hyperspace scoop is also going to help us do that too. I'm going to place that right here on the front. A small tank to gather up that stuff is good. So how about we get like a small tank right here for now? Can I have another one? Let's buy another small tank really quick. And we're going to add another small tank. Yeah, right in front of it's fine, I guess. Okay, so let's pipe this together. This is going to get us hyperspace isotopes. Talk a little bit more about what that is later. This is going to get us Metreon gas. Again, a little bit later, we'll look at the different resources and the different usages for them. For now, I'm just going to get everything wired up. So have that there. Bring this up, move it over like so. And then this can go over that way. This can go, I think, up and through the middle is where I'm going to bring this power. Power is going to go all the way through the middle. That's fine. And it'll go up like that. Okay. So everything's going to get hooked up there. Now, what's going to happen is every time we go to FTL, this is going to scoop up these hyperspace isotopes. It only collects when we go to FTL or go through FTL. And it will fill this tank with those things. Metreon gas is going to be collected in nebulas. So as we sit in a nebula, it will collect the gas around us and pop it into this tank. And we'll use that stuff later. Okay, we need more contracts because we need more money. One second here. Let's get the CO2 scrubber hooked up. And we're also going to pipe it into this tank. Everybody's breathing in. That's oxygen. But they're also breathing out. It's carbon dioxide. So we need to be able to scrub that. Otherwise, it's going to fill up the cabin. And we're going to get a nice little warning that says it's fatal soon. So we don't want to do that too. The more people we have on our ship, the more likely that is to happen quicker. So contracts, let's take a look at them. We can continue being space Uber. We can also rescue people. I like that. I like things where the engine is going to explode soon. I like those ones because they pay more. And because when the ship blows up, you get a whole bunch of loot. So I like those things. Do we have another request? This one's going to 12. This is going to 13. We have some cargo that's going to 0. All of the cargo is going to 0. That's interesting. Okay, let's take a look at the sector map. So shipyard is here. And that rescue mission, the distress signal that we're getting from rescue them. This is in 15 and this is in 15. They're both in 15. Interesting. We could rescue them both. But I don't know which ship is going to explode. Because this one doesn't look like it's going to explode soon. But we can get them both. So how about we try this? Let's get the courier missions. 1, 2, 3. There usually is a little bit of a timer on these, which can tick down. Hopefully we can get them soon enough. And then instead of the transport missions, we'll go ahead and try to do the rescue stuff because they're both in 15. 15 is there's a derelict here too we want to take a look at. 15 is where? 15 is, I'm not seeing 15. I mean, it'll highlight it once I accept the mission, but I don't see 15 on the map. Maybe I'm just blinded. Or maybe it's not there yet. Let's take a look. So we're going to take rescue during an NG15. So 1 and 2. Now we're on the clock, so we need to go. There's 15. Was that there before? I really didn't see it, I swear. All right, we're going there. That's our place. So we're going to prepare to jump. That gets us lined up, ready to go. And while the ship is connected to us at the docking, I think I want to grab, if I can, just another stack of food. Now, we can align ourselves for the jump, but we don't want to jump until he disconnects. So they're bringing all these packages that we have to deliver and bringing them all in here. We may need more mission cargo space, to be honest. So why don't we go ahead and get a little bit more mission cargo space right here. Give them another place where they can take this stuff. We want to get all that stuff delivered. There's the disconnect, and we're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and rescue these guys now too. Again, I don't know which ship exactly is going to explode, so we're going to have to take a look at that. So let's back up for a second and take a look at what we're dealing with. So we've got this ship at 1%. We need to rescue there. There's the little docking port lights. And then over here, there's also some docking ports. Now, again, it could be the 3% one or the 1% one. You can't really go by that. So I think we just race there and get there as fast as we can. This one says 329 seconds until it blows up. I don't know which one it is. That's the downside of it. Maybe is it going to give us... I wonder if it gives us the name of the ship in the mission log. So this one, it's from wrecked ship. It just says mark the ship on the map. Yeah, it doesn't say what the name of the ship is. So we're just going to have a 50-50 shot of going to the correct one first. I think we just go to the nearest one first and get it done. So we're going to angle ourselves down this way. And there's a couple of things I want to do because my drones and stuff are going to end up outside the ship and I don't want them to do anything just yet. We're near asteroids, which means we can mine here. That's a very good thing to be able to do. And there's no meteor shower or anything, so we could linger here for a little longer if we wanted to. You know, if we weren't rescuing a ton of people and had limited life support. We can go into orders. I'm going to tell them not to salvage or mine anything yet. I'm going to turn my mining lasers off too, just because I don't want them shooting things and using power. Right now, I want to be focused on the mission. But if I don't turn those things off, then as I pass by these rocks, my mining laser is just going to start, you know, hanging, shooting the rocks and stuff. We have a variety of different resources in these rocks. Metallic minerals, titanium ore. There's usually copper sometimes. There's precious stuff as well, precious ores and stuff that can be all refined into bigger, better things that are worth more money too. There's copper minerals right there. What's this one over here? Precious ore over there. Precious ore is good. Electronics and stuff, more advanced things, you're going to need that. Man, I feel like we're going slow here. I hope I picked the right ship as far as which one's going to explode, because I'm not confident I can get there in time. We can speed up time, but that doesn't speed up my ship. It's just speeding up time. So we have 235 seconds to rescue everybody right now. And if it's the other ship that's exploding, then it's kind of an issue. All right, let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to turn ourselves. Try to line up our docking ports here really quick. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Yeah, it takes a little bit. And once we get it close enough, it should latch on with the auto thing. There it goes. Once this is all good, and we have all 38 crew on board, we're then going to undock immediately and head over to the other ship as fast as we can. Now, this one actually looks like it's... I think we chose the right one, because this is the one that has the 165 seconds. Yeah, 165 seconds, and you can see it's this mission that has the crew. So we picked the right ship. I picked the right ship. This is the one that's going to explode. So we're not in a super big hurry anymore. We're going to undock, though, and we're going to head over and rescue the other ship, too. So let's just go ahead and get going on the other ship, too. This one's going to explode. So we'll watch that happen as well. Let's go ahead and head over like this. And actually, I think we have time for the other ship. I do. I want to scavenge stuff. And so here's what can happen in this game. Maybe we'll get there soon. I hope we get there soon enough. I'm gonna go rescue people first. But if this ship blows up, what tends to happen in this game is other ships will show up. Like this DRX Helican is right here. They will come and scavenge the stuff before I can do it. So it's kind of like, you know, they're taking my loot, right? So I kind of wanted to be close to that when it blows up. But I think we have enough time. We have over a minute right now. So let's just kind of get ourselves angled correctly here. And we're going to turn our thrusters to doing what we need to do. Oh, it's not letting me. Am I out of power or something? Oh, man. That is... What's going on? I can't move. Hang on. Oh, boy. Oh, this ship is rotating. No, it's not. Some of them will be, though. Sometimes these rescue missions, the ships are moving. So you have to match the rotation and everything. I think maybe the ship is moving. I feel like it is. I'm just wrong. I'm just wrong. It's not. All right, we're taking people out of here. This one should blow up. There it is. So that one blew up. This one's fine. And we're going to undock now that we have all crew. Let's go ahead and undock. And then we want to head back over there to get all that stuff if we can. Because there's a lot of loot over that side. We want to get that. So we're going to head over to that ship. And I'm going to speed up time just to make that a little faster. But the other ships are going to start coming in here, right? They're going to start wanting to take our loot. So as we approach here, I'm going to go ahead and tell them that it's okay to go ahead and gather things. We're going to kill our engines, and we're just going to exist around here. So our drones are now going to, the ones that we purchased earlier, they're going to get loaded into this drone bay so they can go out and do things. And they're going to start collecting all of this loot. Now, all the while, we're using up our oxygen supply, our water supply. We're consuming a lot per day. Our food, we're going to consume all these things. In addition to, we're also consuming fuel because we're burning fuel for power on the ship. But the hope is I can collect as much of this stuff as possible. I'm going to put an all cargo area right here just so they don't have to travel super far to put it in there from the drone bay. And then to make this process not take forever, we're going to go ahead and speed up time too. So now all my drones can just do this 10 times speed. They're all just going to go around and gather as much of this stuff as possible. And there's usually some pretty good stuff in here. A lot of times there's equipment I can actually use. Or there's just a lot of extra, like more advanced stuff, like processors and such, which I can sell that I don't yet need. All right, now that they're starting to gather ore, that tells me that everything in the ship is taken care of yet. So what I can do now is just a light throttle. I'm going to head over this direction. The drones can keep doing what they're doing while I move, but as long as I don't move too quickly, which I don't think this ship is really capable of moving super quickly yet anyway. We're going to head over here, and I'm going to tell my mining laser to mine, right? And so now the mining laser can hit things like Tilium ore, for example. So I can come over here like this, and my mining laser can now shoot the Tilium, and we can now start gathering that up too. Or my drones can go that far away. Wow, that's really far. You're going all the way over there. I feel like maybe because you're going that far away, I should be over there instead. There we go. Just let him have that. There we go. Come on in, drones. You got it. Just come with me. You're good. We'll just be over here instead. All right. And then I'm going to have you like this. Now, what I can do is I can use my weapons manager. I feel like it's just not responding to what I want it to do. It's just not... I'm not able to move the ship in a rotational direction. Am I out of... I'm just out of power. Yeah. All the power died. Which is weird, because the power shouldn't have died like that. I guess it's since I don't have a battery. That's what it is. The mining laser is pulling too much power, and I don't have a battery for it to pull from. So we're going to go ahead and stop mining. And that should allow our power systems to recover, and I should have maneuverability again. Meanwhile, the drones will still come out and do these things, but I want to be able to move in the direction it gets in there. We need power to the drone bay before they can drop things off, man. Come on now. Get the power systems turned back on. Thrusters, drone bay, almost good. There we go. It takes a little bit. So you don't want to drain. This is the reason for having batteries, is so things like your mining laser can pull from that excess really quick and you don't have to worry about it. Of course, if I had an extra reactor, that wouldn't be a problem either. We're going to eventually get that too. But it doesn't look like we're in a super big hurry, other than our low oxygen supply is now a thing. So we have to keep an eye on that. We have more people on board than our system is built for. So our oxygen supply is dwindling fast. This is our actual supply for reload here. So it's probably, this is our last canister is what it is. But again, once this hits 0, it doesn't mean that people can't breathe. It's when this hits low value, like 50, 60, 70% or so is when people start needing to have a suit on. And if I don't have enough suits, then people just start suffocating. They start dying. Not great. Okay, so we have everything here. We need to bring this stuff to NG0 is what it says. So what we want to do is go ahead and show that on the map. We're going here for our delivery. Let's prepare the jump. When I say prepare jump, it automatically recalls the drones. So it tells the drones to come back and don't leave again. And we can see how many drones are still deployed. So at this point, we have all the drones back on the ship. Everything is good. We don't have anything lingering. Go. And we're going back to the shipyard. There we are. Good. Now we can turn in all of these contracts and get all that sweet, lucrative money. So our ratings currently, we have no combat experience. We're going to get into that next video. I'm kind of an industrial sort of gameplay person. Like I like the intricacies of resource management, logistics, the industry side of things. But it's obviously easier and much cheaper to start by basically being a courier, space Uber, right? And so that's where I've gotten my start to help fund the expansion of other things. We can have it later on in this game, multiple ships, build a fleet. We can have dedicated ships that have specific functions and purposes, and even have those ships stay behind and keep working on things while we go off and do other things. And of course, space combat is a thing as well, and we will show that in the next video. So if you like this video and you want to see more, drop the comments down below. If any of you are concerned that this is going to get in the way of any of the other series we got going on, don't worry about it. I've got backlog. I've got things recorded in advance, so I hopefully won't have that disruption. It's a big hopeful. You know, it's a big hopefully there. All right, we're here. We can do extra contracts. Now, there's a mining contract right here, and it's asking me to mine a certain amount of materials. In this case, Tillium. Now, I was just mining Tillium earlier. I don't know if I have 70 on board, but I was just mining Tillium earlier. And if I have 70 on board already, then I would be able to turn that in immediately. Although, I'm looking around, and I don't see a whole lot. There's scrap metal here. I don't see a whole lot as far as Tillium ore, though. Okay, they're keeping the Tillium ore right here behind the wall where I can't see it. But that seems to be kind of it. We didn't get a whole lot, so I would have to go mine more if I wanted to get that contract. Logistics rating going up as well. That's nice. And then now that we're here, we can also go in and fit our habitation a little bit better too. So I want to get a sewage pipe. I want to get a waste treatment machine and a water purifier. I want to get an oxygen maker. And I'd like to get an air reprocessor. And a hydroponic garden would be great, along with some seeds. And then, of course, let's grab an extra supply of oxygen, water, and food while we're here. And I think that's probably good for now. We'll have that delivered because our oxygen is low. So we'll have all that stuff delivered for now. And then if we can get in some other things that are helpful for us as far as industry goes. So I'd like to go in, for example, and get a refinery if they're here. Yep. There's a refinery. And then the refinery can be paired with a chemical lab, which I don't have enough money for, unfortunately. But I can still start refining. I think instead of that, though, I probably should get a better another reactor because I'm going to need the power. Right now, we're going to install that battery that'll help us out. Let's put the battery along the wall here. We'll have the battery. We'll have a row of batteries right here, I guess, for now. So let's hook that up to the power grid as well. And then we can have just like a row of batteries here. That's fine. As we go. All right. Now we're going to need all that life support stuff I was talking about earlier too. So we have the sewage pipe. This needs to be directly under the habitation deck. So remember that habitation deck? It's up above everything right here, right? So we have 59 cabins available. If we want to have more people and have the capacity for more people, we can edit the ship. This is not what we're limited to. In fact, this new version of the game has an infinite grid. You are no longer limited to how big of a ship you can build. You can build as big as you want. Computer performance being your only limitation, I suppose. If we want to add hull onto this, maybe I want the ship to be bigger. I can bring that out. We have a symmetry already built into it as well, so I can bring that out to like here, for example, if I want to. And I can have the hull be designed like this, something like that. It's very expensive to do that, though, right? It's $122,000 just for that. So we're not going to do that. But I can expand my habitation deck if I want to. That's a little bit cheaper than building a whole new hull. So if I want to put my habitation deck, let's say I want habitation to go through about, let's say, like this. That's 15,500. And maybe I want to put a little more like this, right? Confirm that. Now my habitation deck is this big, and that resets to now 86 cabins. So I have more capacity for more people now. If I could bring it over here like this, maybe I can put my habitation all the way in the back of the ship too. And I can confirm that. Now I have 100 cabins. That's nice. So our sewage connection has to be directly under the up that area. So I can place this, for example, the sewage pipe now. I can place it like right here. I think. Nope. Certainly can't. Certainly won't be working there. It'll let me place it, but it just won't work there. So let me do something different here. We're going to take the waste treatment machine. We're going to put that here instead. So waste treatment machine right here on the side. I guess it'll go about here. Yep. And then our sewage pipe will probably be here instead, because that looks like it is directly under the. Yeah, this counts as habitation. So I think that will work there. We want to get so what's going to happen is the sewage is going to go into the waste treatment plant. This is going to create compost and wastewater. Wastewater then needs to funnel into a water purifier. And we're going to have tanks in the middle of this setup to kind of create that buffer zone. So we're going to have some wastewater. I think I'm going to place this here. Yeah, that'll work really well. And then from there, the wastewater will then get purified into good water. And then we can then use that water. We can pull the oxygen out of that water and make additional oxygen if we want to as well. And I can place this, let's say, over here. We can send oxygen that direction if I do that. So maybe we'll put this right here, I guess. Yeah, and then, of course, again, they're going to have storage tanks and stuff in the middle of all this stuff. Let's get a couple of medium tanks and a few more small tanks. And we'll use the small tanks in this area. So small tank here, small tank here. All right, and then let's pipe this together. So the sewage goes into a buffer tank, which will then go to processing. Then the wastewater comes to this tank, which will then funnel into this for processing. Then this water will come out this way into another tank. This time I want a bigger tank, because this is water, the drinkable, potable water. So I want a little bigger tank here. And let's go about like that with it. We'll have this pipe the water into this tank, and then this tank will feed into here. And then the oxygen will flow this direction. I guess we'll have this be our backup tank for the oxygen. Yep. And then this oxygen tank can come up. It's going to cross over these tanks, or over these pipes, and then come through here. Now, here's the thing. If you see a little box up here, that means these pipes are merged, all right? Crossing pipes. It's a 2D game, right? So this is a yellow fuel pipe, and my oxygen pipe is now crossing it. You can click this, and that will make them cross over each other instead of merging. Otherwise, we're going to have a fuel pipe here, and we don't want that. And then this goes like so into the air duct, okay? So that's the setup of how this is going to work. We're going to just get this stuff hooked up to power, too. Let's just bring power all the way straight through here like this. Get all these things hooked up, get them to install all these things too. There we go. Just speed up time really quick. There we go. And with 24,000 left, we now have a setup where the sewage comes out of the pipe from habitation, from our habitation deck, which it is working. It goes into this tank, which then feeds into waste treatment. Waste treatment produces compost and wastewater. Wastewater goes into the tank. Compost is going to be removed as a physical thing by people. And then that goes into the water purifier, which then creates water. That water is going to go into this buffer tank and then goes into the oxygen maker, which will then produce oxygen, send it to this tank to store the oxygen, and then come all the way out over to here. Now, we also have CO2 building up. And when this tank gets full, all of a sudden, we're going to start having that build up again. So we need a system to get rid of the CO2 as well. So we're scrubbing it, but that doesn't allow us to process it the way we need to process it. So what we want is we don't have it here. I was going to click it and it's not here. Go to habitation and I'll show it to you. We want an air reprocessor, but they don't have it at this station. So we'll have to wait for that too. It's fine. Now, when we see compost come out of this, I want to go ahead and get a storage for that. And we're going to put compost right along this wall here over here. I'm just going to have them set it over here for now. All right. So when the compost pops out here, we'll do that. Then we want to install a hydroponic garden. The hydroponic gardens is where we're going to build. We're going to make our food. All right, so I'm going to go about here with it. Let's, yeah, do it about here instead. And then we want to go into our pipes. Make sure that the water system is hooked up to it. And then we also have power to it. All right, so hydroponic systems are going to happen right there too. Final thing I want to do is I took damage from the meteor shower. And we can repair. 6,000 to repair just a little bit of damage that we already have. I think 6,000 is the minimum repair cost. So I think I'm going to leave it alone. I haven't ever seen the repair cost less than 6,000. So I'm going to wait until we take a little bit more damage and then hit the button because I feel like that's a minimum and I don't want to do it right now. And then the final bit of storage I want to do is for seeds. And I'm just going to have, for now, I'm going to put seeds down here. I know it's a little far away, but I want to leave the space open for additional hydroponics if we're going to do it. And then the ship is going to, you know, build out. We're going to build the ship out and make it bigger as we go. So this is not going to be the rear of the ship, but it's going to end up being the center of the ship, kind of like the core of the ship. The final thing I will say, which we don't have enough money to afford at the moment, but in the editor, we can also give our ship armor. So in this case, our ship has a little bit of armor. These little black specks, it's armor. It's more resilient to damage. Not immune, of course, but more resilient to damage. Big hits and stuff, meteors, etc. They're less likely to cause problems on the interior when it has armor. Armor is very expensive, but if we have a section that we really want to protect, for example, then we can place armor over top of that section. So I can add armor for that money. And now a little bit more protection near our life support setup right here in the back. Okay, so next video, if you guys want to see more, come on back for it. We're going to do a few more contracts, build ourselves up, and get the ship all outfitted a little bit better, as well as maybe even make the ship a slightly different design. I want to elongate it, make it a little bit longer. I want to make it a little bit wider, add some additional engines, and of course, add more power capacity too. So if you like it, come on back for the next one. Okay, bye-bye.